we're alive.
Be a great way to taunt the enemy.
Hello.
I see the Sparefish is with us tonight. Welcome. We're gonna suck.
That's entirely possible.
Clearly, I need to mute the the stream because that was disconcerting. All right, let's kill some stuff.
Let's.
So for well, let's start this off more properly.
Started off right. You need to have a crazy accent when you're doing this.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Crazy accent.
Crazy accent.
Americans crazy enough, I suppose.
Boo!
Once upon a time, in the land of Clichéa, in the Kingdom of Generica, in the 12th year of King Jon XVII, there is a battle. Or very nearly one. So,
Shots for an entire platoon.
actually it'd be a bit short.
Oh, I
Only
am
about half a platoon. So for the record, tonight I could totally kill one of you.
Yep, you sure can. Halberdiers? Crossbow? Yep.
Gonna have to get through dozens of the enemy first.
Yeah, I think the enemy has dibs on us before the GM, right?
So yeah,
And our own dice.
Oh yeah.
have a thought to your virtual mortality as we get started.
As long as you don't have a specific one of us in mind, I'm fine with that.
Nope, I'm not going to do it on purpose. That's cheating.
The way my dice roll, I'm always prepared for death.
I have to bear in mind that it could very well be Reyna that dies because it's her dice.
Not the sister. No.
Exactly.
I don't have to outrun the bad guys. I just have to outrun Reyna's dice.
Wow.
The sun is setting, and after you hear the horn of battle at the other end of town, you look up into the setting sun and see at the top of the hill that you're next to approaching soldiers, as previously described.
From when what's on the other side of the river? How much wood is there? As much wood as a woodchuck could chuck. If a woodchuck could chuck wood.
I'm pretty excited.
More or less as depicted.
So prior to our setting up, can Leodin sneak across the river?
As discussed on the boards, you guys had about an hour between meeting the Lord Vicar and the actual battle itself. So you had plenty of time to do some sort of preparation, although probably not enough time to build a friggin' fort or anything.
Oh, well, we were gonna add bales and stuff here to break up the river, or not the river, but the bridge, so they'd have to maneuver through that.
Damn it! I meant to turn off flocked grid. You have to reshare or something to do that?
No, what you do is you turn off snap to grid, then you plus the grid size, then minus the grid size.
It's always taking a chance. Well, That's probably okay.
You just need to force a redraw, that's all. I'm sure
Right,
there's other
so-
ways to force redraw as well.
Yeah, we had discussed some sort of bailing to hide behind. I didn't mention it in the thread at the time, but if you pile up stuff around the near side of the bridge, they will see that when they approach and know that something is hiding or something is amiss.
Well, I don't know if if they know we're over on this side, that's one thing. As long as they don't know Leodin is on the other side.
These were obviously dropped by a down-on-its-luck bale salesman.
Why is there all these arrows everywhere?
Well, because you can't draw rectangles.
Just put tokens down.
What tokens?
Or put one arrow that represents the whole thing.
Now I'm trying to figure out how we could
Or
do
draw.
That would be the best way to do that.
You got the drawing tool as well.
Because I suspect we're not going to have an opportunity to put a whole lot there.
Did people see that? The line I drew on the river?
Yeah, no, you can't see drawings. You can only see your own. The GM might see them, but I've never been able to see anyone else's drawings. Like right now.
Yeah, I don't see any drawing.
I see a drawing.
Because, like Mark said,
I see a smiley face.
All those hours wasted drawing dicks.
Oh, you do see the smiley face?
Yeah.
I don't.
Maybe
Nope.
maybe you have to
Little
exit.
tokens moving around.
Oh, okay. I exited out of drawing mode.
nope, I don't see any drawings.
And
Drawing
someone
just got
erased
cleared.
my draw- Yep, someone just cleared it. Yep, that was
Boo. You do see those tokens, right?
Yes. Now I see someone else's circle.
Nope.
Okay.
Yep, I see someone starting to draw a smiley face.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't see
That's
any
weird.
drawings either.
Have everyone go into drawing mode. Maybe you only see it then.
I need to do drawing mode.
Right click on the map. You'll see a brush icon. Click on that. Someone's drawing
yeah.
stuff.
Nope. Don't see nothing.
See a face.
Alright, whatever.
I see two lines. I see another smiley face appearing.
It's mine.
Alright, so do we want to have these right here? Because that's gonna, like Daniel said, that's gonna be really obvious. And we don't want them to go, well, screw it, we're gonna wait and concentrate on fleshing out and exterminating the pesky archer.
We don't. The thing is, we need to stop them, delay them. We don't need to. If they sit there and go, "Oh, there's going to be a pesky archer," that doesn't matter. They can sit there and wait as long as they want.
That does bring up a valid point. What exactly are the victory conditions?
You rout them, or they kill us. I don't know. Their victory.
What the
kills.
hell are you listening to, dude?
He's getting into the spirit of it.
I'm telling
think-
you, it sounds like
I think that's the wrong period.
Yeah, you're
Is it
it's
bridge
like
on the River Kwai?
right. Yeah, that was mostly to the GM. What are the victory conditions? Apart from kill them all. Because that's always a victory condition.
What were you told? You were told to expect a flanking maneuver and to defend the bridge.
So keeping them from crossing the bridge is our victory condition.
Hold the bridge.
Yeah.
Right, well,
So noted.
Well, once the halberdiers get across the bridge, they're not going to want to fire. The crossbowmen aren't going to want to fire into a melee and risk getting their own guys shot. So really, we want the halberdiers to come at us. And we can just sit behind the bales while they sling arrows over our heads until they get within range.
okay. You gotta kill that music, man.
What? It gets me all, sprung.
You ever been in a car with a bunch of people and one of them farted? It's no big deal, but you gotta roll down the window. This is like that.
Alright, well, we need to make a call here.
Well, if our objective is to delay them, then the bales need to be right there.
Also, shout out to Jones Pilot, who's joined us in the chat.
Howdy there.
The issue with being overt with the bales is that it won't necessarily stop them, but they will suddenly prepare for an encounter. You're not going to be able to trap them.
And we're going to ambush guys with Breach 3 weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, is it 3? Jeez. I thought it was 2. That's terrible.
Well, if nothing else, we can have the bales in there to where it's going to break up their formation. Like, like so. So they have to move around and circle around so it's smaller groups.
Yeah, but that's if
We'll
you
make
put them
sure
that
they got
far
that-
away,
Yeah.
I mean they'll go around them and keep coming.
Or pick them up and toss them over the bridge.
Well, there's no way we're going to be able to ambush them. Period. I don't know what you're thinking there, Daniel.
Yeah.
It's a very long bridge. If there's no bales present, then there's zero chance we can ambush anybody.
I strongly disagree.
We're not
Well, we can always
ninjas.
I still think I can jump out of the river all Aquaman style and then, surprise it.
That's an interesting idea from the spare fish in chat. We should trap the bales.
It is a good idea. What sort of trap?
We could put PCs behind them.
Do we have
Wonder if
anybody
there's-
that can do traps?
Not me.
Mm-mm.
Lead and
The
cannon.
only thing what kind of traps are we looking at? Something that sets them on fire? It just requires a flaming arrow or some kind, or
Well,
Yeah.
if Laodin is going to waste time trapping them, then he's not going to be able to get over to get behind the crossbow guys.
I thought
Because
the key
we don't have
element,
a lot of time.
Yeah, I thought the key element was to get them over onto our side, keep them busy, and then Laodin just fills them with arrows from the rear. thought that was our only recourse, really.
I don't know why that would be the case.
I think we should just barricade the bridge as much as possible on sort of that section of the bridge. So barricade it there. So they have to come onto the bridge to deal with the barricade. And we just delay them as much as possible. If they decide, the barricade's too hard, let's swim, then we just annihilate them in the water.
Nobody's going swimming with a halberd.
Well, I also seem to recall the previous night it was really, really fast moving because of the winter thaws and all. So you're not going to want to swim anyway.
We just need to be an obstacle. If they decide, the bridge is too hard, we win. It should be like, what is it? Les Miserables, where they just set up barricades of every bit of junk that they could find to be a wall. So the halberdiers would have to scale the wall or something like that to try and get around it.
Yep, and that gives some of our more rangy types a chance to,
Which is all of one person.
Well, Murdoch's got a crossbow.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. And the will to use it.
And if that is the case, they start to try and scale the barricade, then we take them as they're climbing over this uneven ground, and kill them that way. It'd be pretty hard to climb something that is just a mass of chairs and tables and logs and barrels and whatever we could find. Turned over cart.
I agree. I like the idea of just building a barricade that they can't cross without spending a lot of time to do it. Because their whole goal is their objective is to get across the bridge. If our goal is to keep them from it, and based on our ability against their numbers, I'd say the barricade is probably our best bet. And anyone that gets over meets with us, because the barricade's also going to serve a second purpose. It's going to keep the arrows from reaching us. So anyone that hops the barricade, we beat them to death on the other side.
With the time constraint, I think the upturned cart is probably the best start.
Upturned cart throws, upturned cart, barrels or bales of hay, anything.
Cut down some trees.
Okay, you guys are getting outside of the time constraint here.
Yeah, so probably
as it stands, you're gonna have to.
Be able to do.
As it stands, you're gonna have to gather all this material. You're gonna have to transport it 150 yards or so out of town.
We have a cart. We'll get a cart. We'll get villagers to carry whatever bits and pieces they've got.
Yep. I mean, we
We're not
just rip
bringing
up
the
someone's.
villagers over here.
Well, we just borrow
For the
a cart
building of
and
the
rip
barricade,
up.
though.
Yeah,
We
just
don't
borrow.
have time to do that.
I think a cart is the 20% of effort that will accomplish 80% of the goal.
Because we just have to rip up, someone's fence to get wood pieces and stuff and just pile
But
it.
you recall they don't have any fences. That's what we were griping
Can't keep a
about
cow
last
out.
time.
Farm equipment, plows,
Grab
anything.
their tables out of their homes.
And if we just tell the villagers, everyone grab something that we can use as a barricade,
You know what?
In
Or
an-
we just
in an
throw the
hour,
cart-
we could have a fairly quick barricade.
We
I
just
don't think we got an hour.
or we just-
It said they're marching. We saw them moving towards the bridge.
All right. So we move a cart, a bunch of bales of hay, set the cart up on end, set the bales of hay up and around it. When they get closer, we throw a torch on the bales of hay, light everything on fire. Now they have a big fire that they have to try and get through, and we just wait it out. They're going to wait it out. We're going to wait it out, and we're going to hope that the fighting behind us, we win the day.
Well, that's
behind
not
us.
very exciting. That's
Well,
kind of boring.
Our goal is to keep them from crossing the bridge, not die. So, I didn't say it was going to be entertaining.
I think we should just throw whatever we could up against the thing to make a barricade that's going to be difficult to climb. So they're going to be on uneasy ground when they're climbing this barricade. And it should be sort of on their half of the bridge. So they need to actually go out on the bridge to do it. But see, if we did it on our side of the bridge, say there, then they could just decide, let's just jump in to the river from there and swim the last 2-3 yards.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yep, that's probably a better idea.
So we want them to go out onto the bridge, so they have to be on the bridge, so they're in the choke point, but they want to be on their half, so they've got, if they decide to swim, they've got a long swim.
Apparently we have like an hour and a half, is what that I thought the post said.
More like half to an hour.
And if we got 30 villagers carrying something, 150 yards, was it?
We were dispatched here. I'm fairly certain the Lord Vicar has got the villagers doing other stuff. Because remember, they're facing the main force on that direction. So this is mostly going to probably just be us.
A cart, a few bales of hay, and something to light it all on fire when we need to.
And awkward things like chairs and tables that,
anything that we throw
difficult
in a
to
cart
climb.
ourselves.
Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't do it. Plows. A plow would be a horrible thing to try and climb over.
I mean, and whoever wants to be on that side to light it on fire can just jump in the river. They just need to be able to swim. And they just swim under the bridge to get to the other side.
Rudimentary barricade.
That we can set on fire.
We'll spend half an hour doing it. And that will be up to the GM to determine how much of a barricade we can get done in half an hour. Even if we just chop down a tree and have the branches of the tree...
That's going to take too long.
Take, I don't know,
Do you know how long
10...
it actually takes to chop down a tree? Do you want to have somebody weigh down on fatigue because of that?
We've got Murdoch. He's tough.
And you've got me, Getwell's strength 12. You have us both whacking away at a tree.
Doesn't
take long.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but if we get like one tree, chop it down, throw it over the barricade.
Time constraints. Rudimentary barricade. It's got the bales of hay that we can light on fire.
So the branches of the tree are that way, so they have to fight through the branches of the tree before they even get to the barricade.
We are not going to be able to cut down a tree of sufficient size in that amount of time.
Fair enough.
And then manage to move it over there. So it's like, hey, yeah, we knock it down. Now we got to move the damn thing, and it's pretty damned heavy.
And there's 6 of us, and a horse and a donkey.
How long do you think it'd take to cut down something like 6 Christmas trees?
Not very long. I'm watching a video, and he cuts it down in less than... One guy cuts one tree down. It's about as thicker than probably about as thick as a person, and he cuts it down in less than...
One guy whose job is primarily that.
We're talking 2 guys with axes. Won't take long to
Have
cut
you
down
ever
a single
chopped down
tree.
a tree, Mark? I mean, a real tree, not a small one.
I'm not talking a real...
If we get like 6 Christmas trees, that would be a nasty obstacle to contend with. It's all flexible and bushy, and you could cut down a Christmas tree in less than a minute. To haul it, a couple of minutes. One person could haul a Christmas tree.
Let's cut this off.
Bales.
So, the objective is to create a barricade of something fast enough that is hard to climb.
That sounds good.
Now, as far as I'm understanding at this point, we're just talking piling stuff up.
Yep. In as awkward and difficult a manner to climb as possible. So things sticking out everywhere. And, obviously dismantling it so they could pull it apart, but then that would take them time. And then we douse it with oil so that we can set it alight while they're climbing over it, if they manage to get over it.
I like it.
And make sure that
made out of?
we make sure that they can smell the oil, so they know that when they start to climb that, they're going to get burnt.
The bridge is stone.
Damn it, did I forget the bridge image?
Just wanted to be sure it's really a stone bridge, and we can burn things on it without taking down supports.
There it is, only shorter. Ours is longer than the picture, but it's that construction.
But with a much deeper and faster moving river that flicks quite a bit wider too.
Yeah, that bridge is a little shorter. River less wide.
Leiden would also have picked up as many arrows from the village as he could, if they had spare.
Now that you're not going to get much of.
Yeah, because remember, they said they didn't have a Boyer Fletcher. No, wait, they did, but he's with the militia.
Well, we had lots of arrows that were lobbed into the village.
Not that many.
Flame arrows and stuff.
They only did one salvo, so maybe 12 at tops, and we don't know how many of those are gone. I got at least one.
Well, Leiden will grab however many he can that are usable arrows. GM can decide whether that's one, or none, or 100. I don't know.
I'll give you 2d6.
How about
4
crossbow
extra.
bolts?
Well, it's 4 you didn't have.
Crossbow bolts?
Nope.
We got to kill their crossbowmen and take their crossbows. Actually, why do we know that they were going to be crossbows? Were the guys across the river with crossbows?
I told you that that's what you saw coming in.
Okay, right.
Because technically all this that's going on right now happened before you saw them.
And
You did not know what was coming.
I'm going to assume those arrows are barbed head.
Yeah. Actually, they're probably crap too.
What were the two scouts that were across the river armed with?
Swords, I believe. Because they dropped their sword belts.
Yeah, they weren't sniping.
Okay.
All right. Well, somebody give me a tactics roll.
Another one? Okay.
That was the one that. What did you do before?
General tactics. That was mostly for the defensive fortification stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that was for defense of the town. This is for defense of the bridge. All right, so you guys will have one plot point.
But it's a success by 2.
Yeah, if it were a success by 3.
Ah, well.
And am I to get that right? It's 6:45 p.m., so it's night?
The sun is going down.
Right
So
on.
basically they waited until the sun was on just over the treetops so they could come out of the sun.
So Dustin was outvoted about having a barricade closer to far end of the bridge so that the crossbowmen can't go to the sides and get shots.
Well, last chance to move it.
I think it should be where it is there. So if they decide to go over the edge and swim, they've still got a long swim ahead of them.
Oh, you know damn well they're not going to swim.
It's only 1-6 there.
It's just in case they get desperate.
So where are you going to be? Aside from Laodin. And is that his final position?
Yes.
Well, we've got a couple trees. We could probably lurk around there.
I thought we were going to be in a position to mess with them when we got to the barricade. So they can't just pick the stuff up and throw it in the river and keep going.
Now, how high is the sides of the bridge?
I think he said waist high.
All right, so there's plenty of cover. So you could be all the way up to the, near the barricade.
Well,
Yeah,
if you're hiding behind the barricade, you're not going to want to set it on fire.
Or else set it on fire and jump into the water.
Or stand back. not meant to stop us from going forward. It's meant to stop them from getting over.
Yeah, whoever goes over will have to actually make sure they have the swimming skill.
And not be wearing how much armor?
Yeah.
Who's got swimming?
There's no need to go over though.
Nope.
Well, if you had to.
There's nothing stopping you from retreating back across the bridge. And you could even do it at a crawl.
Oh, that's true. And then keep the
behind the cover.
I think I'm probably going to be at the halfway point because I want to try to get as good a vantage point of what's going on either side.
Well, just so we're on the same page here, the ground slopes up either direction from the bank, so they will be able to see over anything that's on the bridge as they're approaching.
Oh, well, that does change some things, I think.
We were supposed to hold this bridge how?
By killing them all.
By making them cross it, for one thing. Which, you know...
That's alright. They'd still...
The spot we're making our stand, it's not making them cross it.
The thing is, if they're going to shoot down on the bridge with their crossbowmen, they're going to have to be quite a ways down the bridge. Oh, sorry, away from the bridge, which is fine.
Well, I wasn't saying that because they're going to be shooting down on the bridge. I was just saying you're not going to be able to hide by crouching down behind the rail because they're going to be able to see over.
Right, but it should still provide cover.
Not from straight down the bridge.
Yeah,
All right.
The high point of the bridge is the middle.
Where on the map would they have to be to have a good, clear vantage point that cover becomes useless? Like on this, so like here, how quickly does this grade slope up, and at what degree? So I'm figuring that if it's not that
That's quite a steep slope.
Not done.
But if for them to make, if I'm looking at this right, they have to be at some pretty good range to make the cover ineffective.
What I'm saying is, they will know that someone is on the bridge.
Well, they're gonna
You can't hide.
Yeah, we're only Leonid's trying to hide.
I'm not trying to hide.
Yeah, we're just trying to use whatever cover. I'm not trying to say we're not there. They're gonna know somebody's there when they see a big barricade.
And they'll be able to see us behind.
Oh, you're red? GM's red? Okay.
GM is not red.
I'm kind of orangey red.
Oh, well. Who drew the little arrows?
That was me.
Okay.
I mean, if we're looking at something like this, then yeah, they're gonna. But
That'd be an awesome bridge, wouldn't it? It's like we can't seem to figure out why we don't have any trouble, and we keep losing wagons as they come screaming down this sharp grade and crash and go into the into the river.
Anything sort of above 10 degrees would be one hell of a slope.
Right. That's why I'm kind of like, how? So.
Yeah, well, I see what Daniel's saying. That's not the point.
That's a 30-degree slope.
No,
Right. So they attack. Rocks fall. Everybody dies. It's terrible.
none of us wanted to live forever.
They're going to name it Everybody Bridge.
TBK Bridge.
In honor of the fallen.
I'm gonna need a minute.
All right.
Man.
Have you tried rebooting it? Is my mic any better, by the way?
A lot of hiss.
Do you have a cordless mic?
Yes.
Maybe your battery's getting flat.
No, it's charged to full.
Is it raining at your place?
Not currently, but it was earlier.
Because there's like a hissing.
Oh, no, there's no background hiss here. It's something being introduced somehow. Mel has the exact same model and is in the same room, so if you don't hear it on hers, there's something going on with mine.
Back in a sec. back. For the Leo's actions, he's going to engage at his own discretion. So when he sees an opportunity, he'll attack. With any luck, he can draw the whole lot away, and he'll just lead them on a wild goose chase.
That would be ideal. They'll probably try to stay focused on the bridge
And that's
keep from
the
getting
last
shot,
we
though.
ever heard of Leo.
Some say he's still running today.
If any luck, I'll run past the bridge and they'll follow. You guys can shoot them. Then I'll double back and I'll run back across the bridge, or past the bridge, and then you guys can take pot shots at them. So they'll be like ducks at a fairground at the shooting thing at a fairground.
I doubt they'd go with that. That might happen
Can-
once, and then they go, "Yeah, no, we're not doing that again."
And
Especially if
I don't think anybody else here can shoot.
Other than Murdoch.
we just need to stop them and make them think not too hard.
I think we already thought too hard.
Is Dustin going to haste for free later?
I can. It's free fatigue-wise, but it does have a cost in that I have to maintain the concentration on it, so it's -2 to anything else I cast. So you can certainly start with it. There may come a time where I have to drop it.
It's a spell on, right? So you're -1 for every spell on.
Oh, I thought it was -2.
It's only -1.
But yeah, that's the only penalty, is that I'll have to maintain concentration. So yeah, you can certainly start with that.
Sweet. Move 8.
The extra dodge can't hurt either.
And assuming these guys are armoured, I imagine move 4 is going to be the best amongst them.
Why that?
Did it again.
Well, you would have had to cast it again anyway since you failed. You get to you get it for free.
But doesn't even with a fail that means you spent the fatigue?
No, you don't spend
No.
fatigue when you fail.
You spend 1 fatigue.
One?
Yes,
Sure.
failed spell is 1 fatigue.
That's what I thought, but what do I know?
Oh, okay. It's just as well since you recast it and got it for free.
A failed spell is 1 fatigue, and a spell that you terminate before its duration, you take 1 fatigue.
Oh, didn't know about that.
This is nice, is because it cost me less to fail it than it would have, if I succeeded normally and pulled it all off.
Yeah, really.
Because a DB4 shield would have cost me 8. Now it costs 1.
If you put one more point in it, it'll be 1 point cheaper.
Yeah, once I can get some points to burn into it.
Okay.
We did some spell castings while you were gone.
How do I create an effect? Apparently I can't write for doing it.
You can't create effects, only the GM can.
Ah.
Yeah, I really don't know what to do with this.
Can you just drop one in for haste? Oh, or do you mean the map situation?
The map situation.
Oh.
Actually, no, I haven't done anything with effects. Do we need an effect for something?
No worries.
I was thinking just a haste, but it's not important. And Brother Getwell put a shield on himself.
When, if you create an effect, you can just call it haste. Then you can drop that onto, or Dustin can drop that onto Laird, and it should be sec plus.
Well, it's not going to be you don't need to track the time on that.
Nope.
Well, we do once Dustin decides not to maintain it, because then it'll expire.
Right. So you're saying you don't know how you can resolve that, right, Daniel? Because what I was thinking, if you in this sort of situation, what you could do is you could place the barricade where you think it's going to be, and basically have the bad guys arrive before it's fully set. And if you were using like fate in a situation like that, what you would, I think Mark can correct me on this because I know Mark's played it, but what you could end up doing is saying, yeah, they arrived before you're set, so your barricade's not where you want it, it's here, have a fate point. I think that's how that would work. Isn't that right, Mark?
Yeah, if you basically kind of, and I don't mean hose the PCs, but if you make it where
It's like, oh
scenario
crap,
like that.
that's gonna totally screw me up.
Yeah, you have to give the boon to the PCs, but you're able to manipulate the environment in a way that makes more sense for the stores.
Well,
Yes.
that's not exactly the problem here. The problem is, tactically, I'm just not going to even bother trying.
And that's still a win on our book, because
Yeah, but then we don't have anything to do tonight.
Maybe they're really stupid. They're French after all.
He did kind of set that they're smarter than that.
Yeah, if they were less well led.
How about their squad
Are there
leader?
explosives in this universe?
No, not like that.
If their orders are to
could totally like fireball explosive or whatever the equivalent and blow up our barricade. We're like, well, crap.
I was going to say, if their orders are to get across the bridge, they may be determined to do it one way or the other.
Yeah, you are still really staticky.
That would make sense if their force commander said, "Get across that bridge, or don't come back."
But that presents us with another problem.
Which is, how do they get across the bridge?
Yeah, more or less. Ah.
They would use
tell you what,
they would
we're
use their
just gonna-
halberds to start trying to dismantle the barricade.
Well, we're just gonna go with this, and if it's gonna be messy, and we're just gonna have to live with it. So, is that your current position where you are now?
Yes.
Yes.
I am hanging back mostly so I can sort of try to get a better grasp of the terrain, so I can let everybody know, oh crap, they're doing X, Y, and Z. Plus, I have a shield.
Laodin is going to stick a branch up his butt and in his ear and in his shirt to provide some camouflage for stealth rolls, like an assist. So he's going to look like a moving tree. He'll like blacken his face and all that sort of stuff as well. Actually, Kerry, I think you can cast the haste on yourself, but target it on Laodin.
What?
So the effect, if you put the effect on Dustin, and then you open up your effect on the tracker, I think you can then target it onto Laodin.
Oh, no need. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, well, if you want to delete that one, then...
Well, you delete it. It's, you put it on there so you can remove it.
How?
You open up the little, click on the effect icon on the tracker. That's the one that's next to the green face.
Oh, I see.
So then you can put it on you, open it up, and I think you can then target it. So then just drag the target onto Laodin.
I see.
So then you can see how many spells that you have on, and you can see that that haste
Good stuff.
is on Laden.
Neat.
I just don't see any other way this is going to go.
Ah, the halberd guys are in the back. Pavisi's
Okay.
big shield, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, this is going to be ridiculous, but so they're going to approach the bridge, or they're going to approach. They're going to get somewhere upslope where they can, to the point where they can actually see the bridge. They're going to see the bridge is blocked, and they're going to stop. They're going to evaluate what is Laodin doing at that point.
He's watching.
Find a leader.
If he can identify the leader, he certainly will do so.
At they assume a defensive posture as they deliberate very briefly and then advance.
Laden will be trying to use the force and speak to his party and say, you should yell out, your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries. When he sees them advancing on the bridge, he starts going, yes. What darkness penalty is it?
None. All right. Do you follow so far?
Yep.
So the crossbows are taking pretty much 360-degree cover using the bridge and the pavises. The halberds are coming forward with the halberds, and they are starting to tear down the barricade.
Light it on fire!
Before you do that, can we spot a commander?
How would you spot the commander?
He's the guy giving the orders.
Yeah, if there is such a person in sight.
Well, there may not.
Saying, "Hey, tear down that bridge."
Well, by the time they start tearing down the bridge, they've already said that.
Uniform differences.
Well, they don't have uniform differences.
Okay.
I understand a leader could be off in the O Club right now, knocking back a beer.
Yeah, he's like, yeah,
Well,
do that. I'm gonna stay here and have a beer.
But someone's got to be giving orders, even if it's...
no, let me finish. There will be a guy giving the orders. Somebody's in charge. And you will be able to pick him out.
Is Layden able to identify whether he's an officer or he's just like the corporal?
Layden has absolutely no idea. Okay. At any rate, they will have seen people on the bridge before they approach, so once they get down on the bridge, they're not going to be able to get a shot at anybody on the bridge until the barricade starts getting torn down sufficiently to allow for it. So, at what point in the teardown process does someone act?
That's a really good question.
Honestly, I would say the second people start trying to reach for stuff.
Well, they don't need to read
It
it.
was fine.
Would have thought the moment we identify a leader who's telling them to start tearing down the barricade.
Set it on fire.
Okay, which one's first?
I'd like to put a bolt in a leader before they actually start tearing down the barricade.
Well, we can't shoot them, and they can't shoot us because the barricade.
Yeah. That
Yes,
would
yes,
work
yes.
both ways.
Alright, so Layden's using his stealth and he's going to relocate himself. Can
Was
Layden...
somebody gonna... Hold on. Was somebody gonna light it on fire as well?
Gitbo said he was. Earlier in the
No,
plan.
that was the last. It's going to be doused with oil that they can smell, so they know it can be lit, and that would be the last resort.
More oil.
If somebody's got a torch, they're gonna know somebody's got a torch. So they're gonna know it's gonna be lit.
Lighting it is the last resort.
Is that true
That's what
for
I-
everyone else?
I'm a little far back to be the one to light the string on fire, but that would have been I thought the plan is to light it on fire when it became necessary. But when that necessary is whoever is going to be the one to light it.
Well, somebody's got to make the call here. It's either getting lit now or it's not.
Well, that would be Kendrick.
Yeah, probably not yet at the moment.
Well, it
Not
makes
lighting.
a difference. If this is a magical cart that no one can climb up on and shoot over, then maybe we might as well burn it. I don't know.
Were you climbing the cart?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead. You didn't say that before.
That means you're going to be wide open to them, and they're going to just chop you up.
Not exactly wide open.
Those
would have to reach across the boundary.
The halberds have a reach of 3.
Mm-hmm.
You will be attacked by nearly every one of them.
Those of you that have swords or axes of sufficient length, you can attack their weapons as they attack the barricade.
So we just let these guys walk up to our barrier with halberds that prevent us from doing anything across it, except hacking at their weapons.
That was the problem from the start. I thought I even put it in the board. They're going to have reach 3 on us.
Yeah, that's fine, but they didn't have that reach on us before they got here.
All right, we already committed to this part, so we're here.
Light it on fire. They keep stabbing it with their halberds. They risk their halberds catching fire.
That's a pretty low risk, though.
Yeah, I think they just wait till the thing burns down, and then they proceed as though we hadn't put up a barrier.
So, yeah.
I think the best time.
Is Murdoch going to light it then?
I think because they're going to pull it down, and it's going to fragment. The cart will be an obstacle that they probably have to climb. But as they pull it apart, there's going to be bits all over the place at their feet. That's when you light it.
Okay, I have an idea. All right, what if we, as they start to pull it apart, we plot point it, because we didn't state this, and we kind of have what we did, we plot point that we had a couple levers, like sticks or something that we just had a stand on, and it basically causes it to collapse over on top of them. So it tips and falls over. So it's unstable on one side. And we plot point it.
Well,
using a plot point to be smarter.
If it's unstable, then they're going to be able to pull it down easily as well.
Well, but it may not matter at that point.
Yeah, they may not have recognized it to be unstable until they got up there, started pulling on it. We light it on fire and basically tip it over on them while it's on fire.
It's not a terrible idea.
It's simple enough mechanically. I don't think that's going to be undoable.
Yeah.
How heavy is that cart?
Collapse over them. The fact they're going to get
it doesn't matter. We're plot pointing the shit out of it.
And we're splashing them with the oil, and then somebody tosses the thing, and voila, instant burning moot.
Probably like a 4-man lift, I would expect.
That's why we were able to get this cart, because that particular farmer said, yeah, this thing's a piece of crap. I don't know if you want to trust it. It's going to collapse at any time. And one of us went, oh, really? Probably one of the smart wizardly types.
Okay.
Well, I wanted a portable wall, damn it.
All you need is a stick, a slight, and a lever. You just an ampere.
All right. Well, however it works mechanically, we'll assume for the sake of this that it doesn't weigh so much that you can't do that. So
I imagine it'd be combat engineering or a traps roll to see how well it worked.
It's just plot point. It's done.
Okay.
So the plot point is spent.
Oof.
And you set up the flippy thing. Yeah, you don't need a diagram for that. We know how it works.
Holy crap, Mark!
All right, so what then would the plan have been? They reach the barricade and start to attempt to pull it apart, and then you spring it?
Sounds like it.
Well, yeah, because now they're going to be dealing with them being on fire. The crossbowmen aren't going to want to shoot into the backs of their own people, and we just wade into them.
Well, it's not gonna teleport on top of them. They're gonna have the chance to get out of the way.
Yeah, but
A chance.
they're piled up. They're so stacked up. The guys in the back aren't going to know what's about to happen.
Well, they're also a team.
They can retreat through each other's hexes.
True.
So
but
they'll have a
also means they're
chance.
I would think that being stuck in a formation like that would hamper that sort of thing.
They're not shoulder to shoulder yet. They've got a 1 yard separation.
Yeah, but they're not going to want to be like pikes at ready when their friends are, running back towards them either.
Yeah, it'll disrupt their formation, I'm sure. But
So that's all we need is that momentary
yeah.
a momentary disruption gets us into the melee, and then now they have the problem of
it gets us to where we're not setting off weights if we try to attack them.
exactly.
Okay, so I'm just going to assume that the two that missed their dodge were not able to get out of the way. And I will consider them out.
And I guess
There's a hideous snapping sound. And we're not sure if that was the crappy cart or the guys.
Murdoch needs to be laughing and yell an insult.
I see you did that. That's nice, Daniel. They turned into coins.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Did they go bling as well?
That's fun.
No. So, now what?
Well, it's Raina's turn.
Are we combating? Is it now for combat?
At some point, Layden's going to shoot.
We've got the oil is like spreading all over there. I'm thinking that's probably when you throw the fire. Because if nothing else, the guys who are trapped underneath it will start screaming, and that could maybe cause a morale hit.
Well, they all burned their weights too, so
They weren't waiting.
well, if they had been,
Right.
They aren't
so
now.
throw the fire. The oil
Who's got the fire?
It's on a torch laying here in front of me.
Okay, so then it would be on his turn, I suppose. Unless you guys are gonna sit tight. Is anybody about to go into combat mode and start doing things?
Layden.
Layden's gonna start shooting.
Raina is going to be waiting for
Waiting for what?
For them to approach.
Okay. Anybody else?
Same for Murdoch.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, man, this is a terrible, terrible position.
I'll take a wait for one to climb
It's a
onto the
mess.
top of the wagon.
let's move forward, weapon ready. Good stuff.
All right, so Laodin, then he's just going to start shooting in all of them. Basically, whatever he can hit.
Yes, if he can identify the leader, that's the first one that goes down.
If you can identify him and to actually hit him.
Yeah.
All right, well, then this is how it's going to go.
Bright side, it's night, so detecting where those arrows are coming from will be. Wait, what? Huh?
Okay, so they're going to start backing off the bridge.
Great.
So how many shots does Laodin get on them while they're at the bridge?
Is he going to stop shooting at some point?
That would depend on whether they start looking for him or whatever.
Under what conditions would Laodin stop shooting?
If there's volleys of arrows coming at his person.
Ninjas appear. You always want to worry about ninjas.
Okay, so then to narrate this a bit, you're gonna get off a shot or two before they can really react to your position, which means probably one or two of them are down, one of being the commander. At that point, they're going to continue backing off the bridge, and the Pavises are going to take up position to cover their retreating from your direction. And then they are going to fall back.
Hey, we're doing our job. They ain't advancing on the bridge anymore, at least. Until they grow more backbone.
Someone insult them. Someone with rapier wit. Call them names. You smelly Frenchmen.
Murdoch said he was yelling an insult.
No, I didn't.
No, I suggested Murdoch should yell an insult.
I'll yell an insult. I have no problems. I'll use public speaking to do so.
Awesome.
Wait, so is Leodin actually shooting?
I didn't ask for a roll.
Oh.
As soon as they set up, Laden's going to stop. He'll move a little bit.
Let's see, it's going to take him about 10 seconds to back out and set up. So you're going to get 10 shots. Assuming you don't flub a fast draw in there somewhere.
Laden will get 3 shots because he's going for the vitals.
3 huh? Oh, what, are you aiming?
Yes.
Oh. Alright.
Actually, no, he'll get 5. Because he gets his accuracy on the first turn. So he'll get 5 shots.
Right.
And he will all-out attack, assuming that they're not sort of taking aim at him.
You tried to miss that one.
It's 1.
Does he give
What's-
us a Wilhelm?
So what am I rolling on there? So it's a skill of 13.
12.
13, because I'm taking all out, unless they're sort of taking aim at me.
And like I said, you had basically 10 rounds
All right,
before
so
they're set.
next one, that's a hit. It's exactly the same.
And that one hurt lots.
Another hit. Same.
God damn it! Stop rolling.
I will have to say, Daniel, I do like the coin thing. That is really, really sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that number 2 shot did not hit the guy you meant to.
The with regards to targets, he'll be going for the crossbowmen. Specifically ones that have their backs turned to him first.
The ones that have their backs to you are the halberds.
Yes,
They're
but
the ones that are most exposed.
Well, the side, so to speak. So those ones. His main target is the crossbowmen because they're the biggest threat.
Well,
Right.
The first one you did declare you
That was the
were
leader.
The leader, so
Yeah, so it's leader, then crossbowmen that have sides or back turned. So that's 3.
wait, you said, Daniel, the second one didn't hit who he thought it hit?
Right. Actually, wrong. Never mind that.
Okay, never minding that. That's a cool coin, by the way.
That is the coin.
What is it? I mean, originally.
It's the one from John Wick.
Oh, nice. Shouldn't they be gold, though?
It was when it started.
Oh, right. And you said this is mithril. Ooh, march and crit. Nice.
That's not a crit because I'm rolling on a skill of 13.
Oh, right.
What are you doing?
These are all to the vitals. So these are...
What are you doing?
Shooting. I get 10 shots.
Roll
10 seconds.
No. You just said a minute ago you're only doing 5.
Yeah.
You did.
I haven't done... I've only rolled damage 4 times. So there's fast draw rolls.
Yeah, and I didn't understand why you were rolling them all at once.
To get them out of the way.
I thought you said 10 shots.
You have to tell the GM you're doing that before you do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. Go ahead and
This will be my last shot.
finish them off. Yes. Do that. Okay. Now, how many did we not do?
I'm not following.
I've got you down for 2. Did we not do 3 of them? Did you do a total of 5?
I've done a total of 5.
Okay.
All successes and all fast draw successes.
Okay. I think we're done with that.
All bodkin points to the vitals as well.
I gotta do a little bit of arranging here.
What about math? Do you have to do math? Because math sucks.
Shit.
If you want.
I'd rather not do math.
What's the DR?
Yeah, math sucks.
If you give me their DR, then I can.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We'll just call it that.
Dustin will say, Murdoch, shoot one.
Glad to.
Before they retreat out of range.
It's now that you should call over your Sir Magnus and have Murdoch crossbow them from the back of Sir Magnus over the barricade.
I was hoping he would crossbow them while we were still a few yards closer.
Yeah.
Now, by the time they get out of bed,
English.
as they clear off the bridge, they start to go upslope, at which point the wagon is no longer blocking as much. So you will at least get the one shot off. Are you going to shoot at a particular individual, or are you going to shoot into the group?
What are you asking?
Murdoch is the only other one
Gotcha.
shooting. Murdoch.
Is
I was
the
not
barrier
specific.
fire?
Yeah.
I can't.
So you can't
anybody,
see
right?
very well. I mean, you can fire. You can see, not real well, but you can see.
Okay, why can I fire now?
Because we pushed over the cart.
Yeah,
And they're up the hill.
A little up.
As they clear at the end of the bridge,
Oh, slope.
they are upslope.
Okay.
Your
So
visibility isn't 100%, but you can see them. You can actually shoot at them.
Are you targeting anybody specific or just shooting at the group?
I think it's too late to spot any kind of leader, and I think I can probably only see the first
The
rank
leader's
of them.
dead.
Well, they've got.
Well, he
another
probably
rank.
doesn't know that.
You want to go after
True.
the crossbowmen.
Yeah,
They're
irrelevant.
your threat.
I can probably only see the first rank of them, that semicircle, right?
You can see all of them. You just can't hit all of them. Some of the ones in the back are obviously being blocked by the ones in the front. If you want to hit an individual, you want to go for the guys in front.
Yeah, I think halberdier number 3 would be a good target.
Then do your thing. I will give you a -2 for visibility issues shooting through the flaming cart. However, the further they go upslope, the less that's going to be a thing.
Who?
Kind of thinking that me and Rita probably need to get some sort of ranged weapons, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Which means I got to get the skills for it.
All right, give me some damage.
Yeah.
All right, well, you could see that he reacted as if being hit. He did not fall down.
Looks like I actually targeted number 5 instead of 3. Can we call it number 3?
Well, whatever.
I kind of want number 5 to have a half-dead buddy in his face.
All right. At this point, they are, well, Murdoch's having to reload.
Mm-hmm.
And in that meantime, they are going to start falling back.
As in full-on retreat.
You would probably interpret that as a retreat, maybe not a drop everything and run kind of retreat, but
that would be a route.
this is a fallback to an alternate position, advancing to the rear.
Advance and defilade.
Lady's going to stealthily flank them at a distance.
Is he doing that at full move?
No.
So he's going to be very slow.
Doesn't matter. As long as if they're falling back and hanging there for an hour, Lady can do it for an hour. He'll pick his opportune moments though. So if there's a thing of trees that sort of block line of sight, then he'll move quickly or quicker. But any time that they can actually see him, he'll be moving slowly. As long as they keep hanging around here. If they withdraw completely, then Laoden's not going to pursue. The mission was to stop them.
I suppose at this point what they would probably end up doing here is advancing or unvancing back up the hill a ways. Probably, I don't know, 30, 40 yards. And set up their shield wall that way. And attempt to start shooting with the crossbows they have left back down onto the bridge. At that point, Laoden will be making his way around. They'll get off a volley.
Well, to be fair, Daniel, you did say on the boards you were afraid this would sort of happen with Leo. It's all good.
Stuff.
Well, our only point of strength is Leo.
I disagree.
Well, we can deal with that afterward, but in the meantime, yeah, so they are going to probably...
Well, to be fair, in like war, snipers have held up whole companies of people. Stopped them from advancing.
Many times.
And we did what we needed to. We delayed them to get our sniper a chance to lay down the hurt.
However, in modern warfare times, they would usually send an artillery barrage at the sniper, but not so much here.
Just gave Daniel an idea. Here comes the artillery barrage.
Well, I would.
Yeah, if that was a thing.
That's when we go, crap, crap, crap!
Damn it. Yeah, but see, they...
Stop it, Mark. You're going to do something, and we're going to go, dude, we know how you are.
Okay, well they fired off that volley and not much came of it apparently.
Yeah,
There are a number of hits off the bridge.
if necessary, Kenrick is totally going to do that thing that Captain America does to Black Widow in the first Avengers, where he's like going to use the shield with Reyna. While Thor takes it on the chin.
Has anyone seen Ragnarok yet?
It hasn't come out for us. It comes out this weekend, I think.
Really? Because
yeah,
it's been out
weird.
for 3 days for us now.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where it's being released overseas, but not here.
That's bizarre.
It happens every now and then.
Wonder what the motivation of that is, because normally they do the big international release and...
To piss me off.
Fair enough.
Okay, so they parked it. The crossbows fired at the bridge. Laodin was in the process of making his way around to the side. He's not quite there yet, but he does see the crossbows all pop up. Go ahead and give me your stealth check, by the way.
Do I need to do another one? Because I did one, like, right at the start.
Yeah, but you moved. You're relocating. Okay, yeah. They didn't shoot at you. So that means they are going to go for another volley after they reload. Unless you try to pick at them.
If they're continuing their assault, Laden's going to get around behind, or off their flank so that their shields don't help them. Then he's going to pick off the crossbowman.
Alright, well they're going to get another couple of volleys. I'm going to presume that after... Actually, I'm not going to presume that. What does the people on the bridge do after the first volley hits?
Huddling up closer to the
Yeah.
fallen wagon.
Given their angle, you'd probably huddle up behind it as it crouch behind that wall, the bottom wall.
Yeah, we're not going to advance because the objective there was hold the bridge.
So basically, I think we are all in all-out defense mode.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's what I was going to presume. Until I stopped myself.
That's a cool scene.
Okay, so they're going to lose a couple more volleys by the time Laodin gets circled around to their flank. They're not going to see him. And then he's going to start shooting guys. What guys is he going to shoot?
Crossbowman. One, since they're shooting down on the bridge, Laden will have, or they'll have their back to him.
Or near enough.
So Laden will, same as before. I don't know what range he'll be at.
We'll say you got a 40-yard shot. You got a field in between you and them.
Okay, -8 then. So Laden's rolling on a skill of 12th. And that will be like before, to the vitals. And that would take 2 turns to do that.
Okay, so yeah, at that point they're going to know they're being shot at again. They're going to reposition and start falling back again. This time a little less a little less organized.
Then Laodin will keep pursuing, flanking, moving until they decide to withdraw entirely. At which point he would probably go back and recover some arrows from dead people.
Okay, well.
And he'll say to the dwarf, that's 6.
I was waiting for that to start.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get the screams of the guys cut under the burning cart out of your mind. Actually, I imagine they probably would have been able to crawl out from under it at some point.
It will capture them. Because they got broken legs. They're not going anywhere.
So how many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Are they withdrawing entirely?
Yeah. Yeah, they're withdrawing entirely. They still have. They have no idea who the fuck's shooting them.
So once they have, it's pretty clear that they have withdrawn. Kenrick is going to use the horn to use the whatever the signal was for. We're clear on this side.
Well, I suppose the signal was to let them know that you were being engaged.
Well, in that case, to be engaged, yeah. Well, we were engaged. So I guess we should have, yeah. Oops. I thought it was,
Yeah.
oh crap, we're being overwhelmed. We need reinforcements or be prepared to get hit in the butt.
I guess it would make more, well, I guess it would have made more sense for the signal to be, you're going to lose the bridge.
Right. So I guess with that case, since our instructions are still probably hold the bridge, we should probably shout to Aiden and have him go let them know that the bridge is held. If he's willing to do that.
He is.
Of the arrows, Laodin loses 4 of them. He can only recover 2.
Those bastards fell right on top of your arrows and broke them.
Mm-hmm.
Bastards.
You know they did that on purpose. They said, screw this elf guy. If I'm going to die, I'm going to break his damned arrows. That seems really petty, actually.
Yeah, but I'd expect that of Frenchmen.
Ha 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 ha. And we apologize in advance to any Frenchmen or Canadians who are of French descent who are watching our stream. We're just messing with you.
They got to be used to it by now.
Everyone has seen the Google joke. Type in French victories. Is it French victories?
Actually, no, I haven't.
You haven't? Type in French victories in Google, and the first thing that comes up is French failures or something like that.
Nope. French military victories, Urban Dictionaries, French military victories. Although that one thing has A Google image. Yeah, okay. At the top, they have the military history with the little Google thing, and it asks, "Did you mean French military defeats?"
Yes, that's the one. That's the joke.
Which is ironic, considering they were such the powerhouse in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, no, they certainly didn't earn that reputation. They were quite badasses.
But yeah, if Aiden is willing to head back and pass on that the bridge is currently under control, there was an engagement.
Yeah, he will go ahead and run that back to the other force.
We noticed that before he does that, he's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, man, this dude is a mercenary.
Layden will collect some crossbow bolts for Murdoch.
Heck, bring some crossbows.
Oh, he'll bring some crossbows as well. And he'll say to Murdoch, I found a whole bunch of crossbow bolts for you, not that you'll ever need them. Or not that you'll be able to use them.
Where's Leodin?
He's the NPC dude who is, on
Leodin.
the other side. Not Leo. The NPC guy who's observing us. Yeah, Aiden. What did I say?
I got mixed up and mixed you up.
Right, so henceforth, Brian's character is no longer Leodin, he is just Leo.
Ooh.
All right. Well, I think it's time for a pee break. And we'll see what we got for after this.
Right.
Let's go to the lobby.
Taking 5.
Run.
Remember, everyone should set your AFK. That way you can reset when you come back.
Huzzah! I'm listed as AFK.
We are back live.
All right. So straight away, once we can tell that they are absolutely retreating, we definitely want to go over the side and have Getwell do the medic stuff, the triage thing on as many of these guys. We want to save as many of them as we can, turn them over as prisoners. I totally have no idea how to use this crossbow.
Well, that's probably not true. You probably got the general gist of it.
Front toward enemy.
Point and shoot. Yeah, okay, that's not terrible. Default is 9.
Plus accuracy.
Fault on it.
So
The
looks like
dex
it's
minus
probably
4?
gonna be Dex minus 4. Yeah.
Okay. So Raina would be at a 10.
Wow, she's a dexterous lass.
She is.
She's all bendy.
That's right.
Should be dangerous when she puts a scope on it.
Mhm.
Crossbow Annie.
No, Makey's gonna have a lot of Hail Marys to say once they find out they're brother and sister.
Sure thing, Luke.
That'll be awkward.
Yeah.
Come on, tell us you care.
So, you guys are dragging bodies around, or, well, not bodies. Well, they're still bodies, even if they're not dead.
Badly injured fellows.
And you are hearing the sounds of horns and that sort of thing from the area, but it's not as active as it was at the start. And Aiden returns from delivering the news and says that they're retreating. We've apparently won the day.
Awesome.
It was a short day.
Huzzah! Get the wallets.
You know,
That's supposed to be OOC, damn it. Yep, you're gonna be that guy.
hold on a second.
Mark is looking over his disadvantages.
Mr. Vice Guy. Hold on. I have honesty though, so you may just resist it.
Really?
That seems
How
strange.
can you have Mr. Vice Guy as your trope and honesty as a diss ad?
Well,
He'll tell you when he's smoking dope. Yep.
and there's nothing. I mean, unless
Sort of
you
blurts it
got
out.
me wrong, I don't think it's illegal in this time period.
Honestly, there's nothing that's technically illegal like that.
Exactly. So it's like the theft or the taking of spoils that might be considered, questionable.
That's not
No.
questionable either.
Nope. Spoils is spoils.
Well, then I will, take some. If I'm healing the guy, I'm, it's like, hey, thank you for the
And-
donation.
And
Right?
they
There's no problem with taking a crossbow and lots of bolts.
will not resist because they know how this system works.
Well, there you go.
At least
So
you're not running around stabbing them in the throat and going, "Yep, you're dead. You're dead."
Because that
Yeah, that would
wouldn't
be
be unusual.
Yep, I'm accepting donations to the injured, from the injured. Accepting or taking. Either way.
How would you like to donate that crossbow there? Thank you.
Potato.
Take it! I don't need it!
If you're
Damn it, now that makes me want to watch that again.
if you're taking, then it's not a donation; it's a tax, healthcare tax.
That works too.
He's not legally able to collect taxes. It would have to be a donation in this case.
I'm accepting it as an that they will not be able to speak that it is, but he will accept it as such, regardless. And
what is on the crossbow? What is the weight thing?
3 turns to reload. So
What?
Strength of the crossbow.
Oh. Their crossbows are 14s.
So
it requires
okay.
a strength 14 to operate them.
And effective strength 14. They all also have belt hooks.
So you can actually reload them.
Potentially. Let's see. In her case,
Wow,
yeah,
those guys
you
are
go.
freaking strong then.
They are somewhat beefy. Actually, as it turns out, I didn't realize that from the start, but the halberd's got a min strength of 13.
I didn't
So-
realize that either. Maybe I need to take a halberd with me too.
Yeah, so they were actually under strength for using it as a chopping weapon. But yeah, they also all have strongbow, aka crossbow finesse. So they had +2 to their strength to pull it.
I'm sorry, what was that?
They had a perk. Let them pull it
okay.
+2. Yeah, so technically they didn't even need the belt hooks.
What would a belt hook allow Reyna to be able to use one?
I think if she used 2 feet and the belt hook, you might be under that takes longer to do it situation, but I think she might be able to. I'd have to check on that.
But yeah, we want to gather up as many of these dudes. Definitely want to try to make sure we are able to save their file commander, if nothing else, because hopefully he'll have some intel.
Well, I believe Leodin was shooting them all in the vitals, so they're probably not going to do well.
I didn't say it was 100% possible.
Stabilize who we can.
Yeah, because the two that got the thingamajig dropped on them with broken legs and a little bit of burns, they're probably not really great, but we can probably save them.
We never ended up setting the fire, so we should be all right on the burn.
Did you not?
No, I think we did.
We did. Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay, my bad. Misunderstood.
It kept them from trying to just charge over the remains.
Ah, okay, I thought that was because Leodin distracted them.
That didn't help.
It's cool. So yeah, we'll stabilize the burn guys as well, if they live.
Yeah,
Just
no, those guys will live.
What would have made it even worse for them is if Dustin cast a windstorm on the other side of the barricade.
Ooh.
I would. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would have had to cast that with an effective skill of 6, including range. That wouldn't work.
Well, not to belabor the point, but he could have cast it at his location and then moved it there.
Not without knocking myself down, because there's a donut hole in the center where you can stand. It's calm. All the other hexes are knocked down.
I don't see why you couldn't lift that over yourself. I mean, that would be dumb if you had
like
to
magically
knock
save
yourself
yourself.
down. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Or you,
I'll remember that for next time.
or you cast it immediately at your side, and then move it.
Well, you have to take a concentrate to move it, and you also have to take a concentrate to increase the strength. So, yeah, you can concentrate to move it, and then concentrate to increase the strength, maybe.
Yeah, you can't do them both at the same time, but yeah.
That'd be cool. I will keep that flexibility in mind for the future. I'll also probably end up putting a point in it so that I don't have the double cost.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big deal for you.
Like 6 instead of 12. For a 3-yard storm.
Oh,
All right,
crap,
well-
it's costing you 12 right now?
Yeah, when I cast it in the previous battle, I drained my power stone and more than half of my fatigue.
Ah!
To cast it at this battle, I would have been half through the dodge. Like 350
Ugh.
left.
Which probably would have been fine if you didn't have to move.
Still, half dodge. Always.
I wouldn't risk it either, but
Yeah, I wasn't gonna.
depending on the situation.
Burn
For
a hit
example,
point.
if you had a Paviser working with you. Which is something to think about down the road.
You could have also burned a hit point or two.
Ah, true.
Which is, ow, that hurts.
Get the cinematic bloody nose thing going on.
Yeah, I was about to say the Stranger Things nosebleed.
All right, well, are you planning to hang out at the bridge until somebody gives you the all clear, or are you gonna? What are you gonna do? Intentions.
I
We aren't
think.
relieved.
Well, yeah, we haven't officially been relieved. I think Kenrick will whistle up the horse and go report, and then once he's aware, yep, we've been relieved, then come back and let everybody know.
Okay, so Kenrick fetches the horse and goes back to find the town basically picking over the mess. It is most definitely over.
Big damn heroes.
Laden will go down to the river, wet his hands, and then just brush it through his hair, and his hair will be perfect again.
Frickin' elves, man.
You've got this leafy thing sticking out your backside.
Oh, Laden will move
And
that
your
one.
ear.
Yeah, that was a little
Yep.
disconcerting.
So yeah, so can track down the Lord Vicar.
So everybody's gonna pick up and go, or
No,
If we've been
yeah, I'm gonna make sure we're relieved first.
right? Yeah. So you will. They'll
But
tell
we
you the
got
battle's over.
Everybody hanging at the bridge for the moment.
We should just be camped real near the bridge and ready
You
to run out there if need be.
you are officially told to take your ease.
All right. Well, what about prisoners? Where should we assemble them? Because we did take some.
They are gathering prisoners at that barn.
Ah, prisoner
getting-
barn.
It's getting somewhat more crowded now.
Indeed. Okay, so I'm glad we got that farmer's really crappy old cart, because otherwise,
It came in handy.
try to find one that isn't super crappy to bring the people back.
Right. Yeah, because you can't bring them back in the burning cart.
Well, we
Unless you put it
can.
out first.
That seems really, really cruel and unusual. Honestly, we don't trust that thing. It's rickety and crappy.
Yeah, as you pull on it, it just kind of poofs.
Wow.
It was on its last leg, and now it was burned.
And flipped over.
It had like 3 hit points left.
Okay, so try to find some sort of additional cart, maybe some bored-looking guys, so they can drag the cart.
All right. Well, you guys escort the prisoners in
Yep.
whatever manner works out best for you, and get a look at what's going on. So overall, the town fared pretty well. They took about 5% casualties, meaning about 5 people.
The guild sends its
But
regards.
since they're defending, that means they can recover half.
Right, those are the casualties. That's yeah. So some of them will not be dead. The main force of the mercenaries lost 12, or no, 15. Excuse me. And the rest retreated.
What proof do we need to get our coins?
That's up to Aiden. Aiden's the one keeping track of that.
Dustin will ask him then.
And he did make an accounting. Well, Aiden's word is the proof. Which is why the ones that Laodin shot in the river and have not recovered are not counted.
Aww.
Don't worry, Layden's killed a lot of people.
For him, it was Tuesday.
There was an additional casualty among the townies. Old Man Bones was found dead, although everybody's pretty... He was dead before the battle actually started.
At least he got to hear the sound of the horns.
That may be what killed him.
Oh, oops.
No.
As it turns out, Patron Sermon got cornered at some point and ended up killing one of the mercenaries. Sort of accidentally, and he's not taking that too well.
Well, we'll definitely speak about the sun as part of the pantheon, the sun, and how they all make one kind of thing, and maybe sway him to the worship of the sun more than the.
That's right. We're gonna come
Just-
back here later, and he's gonna be all super marshaled up.
Just seeing you coming, he doesn't want any part of it. Just makes it worse, because he knows what you're gonna say.
So that diplomacy, or
Does there need to be?
I think Kendrick will probably
He's
swing
trying
by
to swim.
the patron at some point too. Sort of do the whole it never gets easier, which is I don't know if that's really the case for PCs. We're like murder machines. We don't really see people. We see coins.
Murder hobos.
Literally. We kill them and they turn into coins. It's bizarre.
Well, Getwell specifically recognizes what's going on and does his best to not make it worse and provide some comfort. But it'll take some time for him to get over that.
He won't push the issue, but he'll, like you said, he'll try and give him some comfort in that, within the Pantheon there is a necessity, and kind of
Do the everything is by their design.
exactly.
So what do the townspeople call the bridge from now on?
I don't know. None of them saw it.
Yeah, Burning Cart Bridge.
Yeah, but they're going to hear all the stories.
You guys also meet up with Elder, and he's
return the horn to him with great thanks.
He's rather down on himself as he was unable to truly contribute to the battle due to his lack of mobility.
What exactly is wrong with his mobility? Is it just like an old foot? Is it a broken one? Is he missing much of a leg?
He is missing a leg.
Right. Get well.
At the knee.
Fix a leg? Is he lost it?
Regeneration.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can pray over it, but I don't think even I have the ear of the Pantheon for this.
So we need to
injury.
figure out a way to come up with a nice prosthetic for him.
Just sharpen a stick and wedge it into the bottom of his stump, and he'll be fine.
I could give him a temporary experience. I could cast a body of fluid on him, let him have a body of air, and be able to fly and move at high speed for a short amount of time.
And then it wears off when he's 700 feet above the ground.
Well, I would warn him about that. You only have a minute, but enjoy this.
What's a minute? You're gonna die.
Is that a metric or imperial minute?
Elder will also inform you, and you can see over there, Master Walder did give in to his lesser nature during the battle and basically hid. Everybody's basically pretty pissed at him for not making a good showing of himself. Not that they're necessarily surprised. And you will also, as you guys are distributing the prisoners, find that all of the prisoners that were there before are there still. They don't seem to have made an escape attempt or anything.
Most are still pretty.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I'm gonna limp away with this shattered leg. Well, now they have some friends. This barn is getting kind of full.
Yeah, there's it's going to be standing room only if they have to squeeze any more in there.
Be like a Japanese subway train where they actually have ushers there wedging people in.
So we're not going to wedge them all in and then burn it to the ground, because that would be wrong.
The Lord Vicar does find you guys as you're making the rounds, and congratulates you on performing your mission.
Well, to be fair, we just rolled over a cart. Our elf shot most of them.
Well, it was certainly well timed. If they had broken through and gotten into the rear of the formation, that would have screwed us over pretty well.
We did our job.
For the record, they were part of an indirect attack in mass combat, and since they were denied that part of the battle, then they really had a pretty crappy strategy role.
Oh, so there was a behind-the-scenes mass combat.
Yeah, they kind of bet it all on that flanking move.
Sucks to
They
be
weren't
antagonists.
expecting it to actually be defended.
I like that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so the Lord Vicar would kind of like to chase him down, but he says, well, obviously you can't march his force across the border into Antigonia, or that might be considered an act of war. Plus, his people aren't here yet. The main body of the force, probably about 300 to 400.
Does the Heroes Guild have restrictions on such things?
The Heroes Guild is an imperial organization. It is cross-border.
I'm actually more interested in knowing what happened to the Arl's men that were supposed to be here.
And
Particularly since they may have Martha the Swift with them.
he says, we still have not heard from them.
Again, we should perhaps give them until dawn if they have not arrived. The company goes after that to see what's up.
This seems fair. And otherwise, if you guys make a trip across the border for us and scout out the enemy camp, that would be most welcome.
Consider it done. Lane will start sort of getting himself ready to go.
What say the rest of you?
Go.
Well, the sun is going down.
Yeah.
It is
So,
officially twilight at this point, so
Yeah, so we'll probably want to do that tomorrow then, after we find out where the other dudes are. Maybe we'll end up killing two birds with one stone. We'll get there, we find out, oh, hey, they're not here. They went that way, towards the camp. Now we got to go liberate them from the camp.
and before the oh right.
I can go ahead if you wish.
I meant to remind you.
What is
Raina
the
makes
outfit
herself scarce.
What's the outfit you stuck him in? Where's that from?
That's actually that's a shot of Bishop something or other. I can't remember the name. It's in the latest season of Vikings.
Ah, okay.
Jonathan Rhys Meyers playing that. Didn't realize he was in it until I started looking for this stuff. Before Raina can leave, Romeo says, calls out to her. Says, I can be standing by if you'd like to give confession. The more salacious, the better, for your soul, of course.
Wink. He's not even trying to hide it.
I'm trying to think of how a scrappy tomboy would respond to that.
Man.
Well, he is still status 4, so
Yeah.
she can't necessarily flip him off.
No, she will politely decline, and then when he turns his back to her, she'll make a face, like a bleh kind of face, and then leave.
The gagging motion.
Yeah.
So there are some dead, more mercs than townies. There's only a couple of townies that actually died. And they're going to be gathered off to one side there. And not long after that, the townies are going to start gathering for a meeting again. By that point, it will be officially dark.
Well, I'll saunter in there. Invite myself.
Just so I don't get too far ahead, is Laodin actually gonna leave solo, or is he?
He was intending to, unless Kendrick says otherwise.
Well, we'll need you back before we head out, because we suck at following tracks.
What's the weather look like?
It is still as it was. Yeah, I was gonna clarify myself when Dustin made his weather sense roll last time. What I should have told you was that the weather is officially passable. Which means there might be some rain, but not really heavy rain. And that it was clearing. It was on its the passable is on its way out. And Laodin will also be under that impression as well. You can expect the fog to come, as it is pretty regular for this time of year in this location. But it is not here yet. It probably will be after midnight before it rolls in. It is entirely possible that Laodin could get to the camp and back before the fog, or maybe back in the fog.
So middle of the night sort of thing.
Yeah.
Now their camp, it was definitely not something that they can pack up and leave in like one day.
No. Depending on how they leave it, probably not. That was a fairly sizable force back there, and a lot of that was logistics. So not all the people you saw there, or all the tents you saw there, were fighters.
All right, so Leo, unless told otherwise, Laodin will go scout and come back.
Okay. He is going to have to relocate it because he doesn't know exactly where he was. Okay, so
Plus he has a compass. And Laodin will also try and restock his arrows from the enemy or friendlies, if they have arrows to spare.
The fallen out there were all crossbows. You can get lots more bolts, although most of that stuff has been claimed already. The townies did have some arrows around here. They were just using them. So at this point, you could potentially buy some from townies if you wanted to do that.
Well, he wants to try and get restock, so he's got 10 barbed and 10 bodkin. So he's at the moment he just needs to get 4. But what about the main force?
They were using crossbows as well.
So they had no archers. They had formation rule.
They did not have bows.
Do the crossbows have bodkin points?
Yes.
Ah, cool. You can salvage the points and make yourself some arrows.
Yeah, they're going to be too heavy for those arrows. Yeah, they would seriously screw up the ballistics. Unless you shave them down or something like that, I guess. There's certainly plenty of them.
I guess he's not finding any that he can work with. Unless it's routine.
No.
So how many arrows do the townsfolk have that he can buy? And I'm guessing no one has any bodkins.
No, they don't have bodkins.
Can he recover the points from the guys that he killed?
Yeah,
Yes.
You might get the points off the broken ones.
Yeah, you could get the points back, just not the shaft intact.
All right, so then he'll recover the points, and Leoden will fix them onto different shafts, new shafts.
That's gonna take a while, like probably days.
For 4 arrows?
Yeah. Have you ever made arrows?
Well, only modern arrows. Gluing a point onto an arrow is a 30-second job, but that's modern arrows.
They don't have a Fletcher here, and you don't have Fletchery gear.
I have armory missile weapons.
You have the skill, you don't have the materials.
Fair enough. Then I'll just recover the points and keep them handy.
You can at least do that. Specifically after the medical stuff has been done and they pulled them out of people. Hey, those are mine. Give me those back.
I pull him out, and they're like, "Huh? Who used that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's mine."
So, meeting. Basically, they get started, and they're mostly bitching about Master Walder failing to present himself for battle. And the town has clearly lost some faith in this guy. And you can hear murmuring around for wanting to replace him. That will obviously have to wait until the Lord returns, but seems understandable. They also agree to keep a regular watch going for a few days to make sure that they don't get caught with a return attempt unawares. And they are basically discuss rebuilding of things that got broken in the process, which they'll start in the morning. And then they decide on arrangements for the dead and decide to go ahead and bury the mercs that they have in their local cemetery or whatever.
They need to be buried with their butts poking out of the ground in the air so we can plant trees in them.
Gruesome.
Because that's what you do with antagonies.
Pay no attention to the elf who isn't here.
As
So
we're
if
burying him, we're all thinking, I wonder if the elf would have us bury him with their butts up. Nah.
So you can plant trees in their
Lord
butthole.
Vicar present?
do what?
Is the Lord Vicar present?
He is not. He's actually he's sorting out things with his people and dealing with logistical issues for the main body of his troops coming in.
Right. Did he send any representatives or anything here?
No, he didn't.
Right. Clearly he's like, I don't fucking care what these guys think. Damn peasants.
After the meeting's over, they start dispersing to deal with the funerary arrangements, which they're gonna deal with tomorrow. In the meantime, they're gonna store the bodies somewhere out of sight. However one does that. And Brother Rickall catches Sir Kenrick on the way out, and says something about I think I may have met you before back at Hunter Hall.
That is possible, brother.
And as you guys are kind of walking out, just recalls a couple of things about Hunter Hall, how the architecture over here or something like that. Raina happened to be passing by at that moment and hears them talking about Hunter Hall, and remembers that she had actually visited there with her family when she was maybe 4.
She'll stop and kind of listen to their discussion, but she will not interject.
So nothing really further revealed from their conversation, just some general details about Hunter Hall, some of the specific sites there. And she remembers having seen those things, and she remembers being led around with her father and mother at the time.
She'll kind of smile at the memory. It was a good memory.
And about 30 minutes later or so, after the meeting, and the bodies are being seen to.
Sir Kenrick had a reply in chat.
Oh,
Mind you,
yeah. It was just small talk. One of the guys currently on watch calls out there's someone approaching down the south road, and some guys mobilize to go see who it is. Some of the Lord Vicar's men jump into action there and ride out to see whoever it was, and they escort him back, and you go with, and you see that it is one of the Jarl's men who's really screwed up. He's been through it.
It totally needs to be the guy that Raina dueled with.
It is not that guy,
Oh.
but he reveals that they had been attacked on the road and were taken captive. that he fell. He was unconscious at the time, and they left him for dead. Or he would have been taken as well.
Attacked by whom?
Mercenaries, antagonists, maybe.
How many were captured?
All of us, beside myself, we were about 6 of us and the boy.
Oh,
Oh, it's on now.
they done goofed.
And what time of day is this? When these guys are sighted?
It's going to be about an hour after dark.
So damn it, our scout is already gone.
Yep, scout's out. Again.
Right, well, we'll have to take this guy back to the Lord Vicar. Let him know as soon as our scout gets back, we will be heading to that camp.
Okay, well, that's basically it for the night.
Cliffhanger.
I apologize profusely for the state of this one.
Nothing
I
to
don't
apologize
think
for.
Well, yeah, there is. I think so. It was.
Well, it went.
Yeah.
No plan survives contact with the PCs.
Some plans survive better, and yeah. Well, what's done is done. Next time will be better, I hope.
Indeed.
We should have had a plan before we started.
Well, we tried to have a plan before we started, and we didn't stick to that plan.
Yeah, we had one and it wasn't great. And
Well,
Brother
basically,
Gitwell had a brainstorm right at the beginning. And
you guys,
wait to make it happen.
you guys, we had discussed Plan A and Plan B, and you'd picked one of those. As far as I could tell, we're headed for Plan A, and then the game started, and you went with C.
Well, it
And
was a better idea.
well, and that drastically changed the tactical situation to the point where I did not have any idea how to proceed with that without ending the game at 6.
Well, that's how we felt the week before.
No, it's fine.
I think it worked out
happens
great.
that happens to all GMs in my perspective, in my opinion.
Right. Same here. Same experience. The players
you know-
always zig when you think they're gonna zag.
And
Frankly, I kind of want to do a one-shot at some point and actually have you fight those guys on the bridge just to see how it would have gone, because I really wanted to try that. I still think you would have wiped the floor with them, but
The guys behind could reach, so there was no. I mean, as long as the guys up front fought defensively,
reach isn't undefeatable.
Yeah, but if
they
they
don't
had
have
the
anything
shield
that
wall,
reach, though.
if they had the
You
shield
don't need
wall,
it. Just because they have reach doesn't mean you have to stay there.
Well, the thing is, if you have reach 1, in order for you to attack a guy who has reach 3 and 2 ranks behind him, you get triple the counterattacks.
Yeah, getting in would be tricky, but it doesn't mean you can't do it.
especially if they have their shield wall. So
They
they,
didn't have shields.
yeah, they did. They had the
They all had 2-hand weapons.
yeah, but they had their shield dudes, shield bearers.
No, those were only for the crossbowmen, not for the halberdiers.
But they
To
could've
be
easily
fair,
used to be.
they would have used the pavises for the halberds, depending on the situation. The situation as it was, they would have been advancing with the halberds instead because they needed the shields for the crossbows. But if the situation had been different, they might have standard tactics for this century pike and crossbow formations. They're gonna use the pavises in front of the entire formation. But in this case, the way they would have ended up advancing, they probably would have kept the pavises in the back. Because some knucklehead was back there shooting them.
And as they should have been.
They shouldn't have been there in the first place. It's their own fault.
And as soon as somebody started chucking spells in there, especially if they were doing air blast or windstorm or something like that, knocking people down, they would have broken up that formation. And yeah, it would have been a disaster for them. Just a slightly different disaster.
Airjet at maximum power is only reach 3.
I'm also curious, how does that actually work? Is it like against their strength? Because if they've got really high strengths,
Yeah,
No,
that high.
it does 2d of knockdown, which has to exceed their strength, yeah, but yeah, if they have above a 12 strength, 2d is not going to knock them down under any circumstances. But even with a strength of 10, 2d is going to have to roll high to knock them down.
Yeah, he would have had to roll high, but he would have knocked some of them down. Yeah, there are definitely...
That was my hope.
There are definitely things that you could have done that really would have messed them up, so... But yeah,
First level.
it is what it is. Right, so... everybody's going to get 2 points. This is my standard. That's my standard +1 for stumping the GM.
Yay.
I need to remember that. Because I totally should have done that on frickin' last Friday when you guys threw me for a loop by acting logically.
That's how it goes.
Players.
Frickin' indeed. Stinking players, man.
It can be such a
No
pain in the
consideration
ass
for the
sometimes.
GM.
And yeah, so any questions, any things you want to deal with before we shut down?
So, okay. Actually, I do have some questions, but they're not sort of questions we'll have on the stream.
I'm thinking about having you go ahead and roll for tracking and get that out of the way. I'm going to assume you're basically going to be under the same conditions you were the other day, so yeah, you're going to be easily able to follow them. They're going to be a bit scattered for the most part, but you'll catch it up. So you're going to be able to get back to the camp and observe, and we'll deal with that next time. Anything else?
I am thinking of improving tactics, but I'm going to hold off until I make the decision. Actually, I need to make the roll one more time before I actually do that. But
yeah. Now, by the Dungeon Fantasy rules, I'm assuming that actually, I'm assuming that Dustin's going to be able to spend the points in Windstorm if he was going to do that. We might check on that. I don't know if you're actually supposed to spend the money to gain that as a new skill, or if you have it by default already. So, do you need to do that? I'm not sure.
Oh, that's a good point with the perk. Does that allow me to teach myself the skills that I can
Yeah,
do by practice?
because you cast it at least once, so technically you've already done it. So putting a point into it.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
Go ahead and do that. I think
So
that's
we'll
useful.
we can probably check on it and see if that's the case. But
But for the other spell that I want to add, I'll definitely need to go back to school during downtime.
yeah, I can't remember if you're supposed to go back and get training for new skills that you don't actually have already or not.
Yeah, you normally have to be taught the spell or learn it from a book, which would also require going back to school for access to the library.
And Murdoch's secret actually came up this time, but there wasn't an opportunity there for what I had in mind. So I'm gonna have to save that for later.
Well, remember that secrets are, is it per adventure? So you could use it anytime.
No,
Secrets are per
secrets are per session.
Right.
Everything else is per adventure.
And there has been one session so far where somebody has not rolled it.
Which is ironic considering they're like 6 or less.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
Keep rolling 6 or less.
Yes.
Yep.
You secretive people, you.
It's my dad's secret. It's not mine.
I think you should just have us all arrested.
Go around your place, and the number of closets in your house is just freakish.
So Raina's gotten at least 3 clues, I think, so far as to the familial ties.
Probably a little creepy.
Yeah. The fact that it keeps coming up is kind of giving her a little bit of pause.
Well, if we'd stop rolling under 6s.
Well, at some point she's gonna start actually investigating and actually proving some of this.
Or she goes, no, I don't want to do that. I don't care. These people are creepy.
That's true. Does she really want to know that?
Yeah, that make you guy kind of gives her the heebs.
Nice.
It's like he's the vice guy or something.
What? What are we talking about?
All right. Well, I guess we can call it there.
All right.
Hey,
I
thanks,
shall
everybody.
end the
Thanks
stream.
for watching.
All right. Next week.
Later.
Next week.